Steve Tortorello, promoter of Warrior Wrestling, and you are Drinking with Mo.
All right, everybody, welcome to Drinking at Mo's. I am excited once again to have Steve, the promoter of Warrior Wrestling, with me, hyping up the big Warrior 26 show coming up. How you doing?
I am great, Mo, and I'm excited to be back here with you and your viewers and listeners and talking wrestling, the thing that we all love to do.
Oh, yeah. And one thing that I was going to start off with is one of the things I enjoy a lot about Warrior Wrestling is each show there seems to be some people that maybe I'm not as familiar with as others, but the way I look at it is I'm getting to learn about some new people, get my eyes on them, and more often than not, I've been impressed, and we got what looks like a pretty solid tag team match going on.
Yeah. This, as you said, our goal is often to do a combination of things. Obviously, we want to bring in talent that the fans have heard of and are excited to see, right? They want to see Eddie Kingston in person. They want to see Max Caster in person. But we also want to introduce you to people that you haven't heard of yet, so that maybe if they're on the next show, you come back and get to see them again. Or if you hear that they're on a show nearby to you, you go out of your way to see them. And as you mentioned, we're doing that with this tag match. We've got technical difficulties who comes to us from St. Louis out of the Davey Richards Team Ambition Dojo. And then we've got Slime Season who's coming up from New Orleans. So for Chicago fans, folks you probably haven't seen before, and each of them has something special or unique in their look and the way they work and the way they approach tag team wrestling. So much so that we said, we like these guys. We want to give each of these teams a shot to see what they can do. And so the sky is the limit. They have the opportunity. We'll see if they seize it.
Oh, yeah. Me being the fan of tag team wrestling that I am, seeing two teams that, not as familiar with, but hey, I'm always excited to see new people that I'm not familiar with, like I mentioned. And you brought up another match going on that I, for one, am really excited because you brought up Eddie Kingston, one of my personal favorites right now, going up against the intensity of these guys matches up amazingly. Eddie Kingston and Warhorse.
Yes. And I don't know if you've had the chance to see the promo that Warhorse just did and put out on Twitter and Instagram, but that level of intensity comes through. And as Warhorse mentions, these two guys were both in the summer of 2020 given a shot in AEW, and Eddie Kingston ended up signing and Warhorse did not. Each of them were revered across the country in independent wrestling. And now Eddie is revered on a national stage as well. And you can tell that gnaws at Warhorse. And they are, even if they didn't have that background, they are both such badasses. Warhorse is 4,000 pounds of heavy metal. Eddie Kingston is a fist with a face. And this is just going to be, to use an old JR term, a slobber knocker. This is going to be two dudes, just forearms and elbows and back fists, and this is going to be a fight.
Oh, man, that could not have put it any better. From the slobber knocker, if there was a dictionary definition of it, this match would be right in there.
Yeah.
Eddie Kingston, he's just known for that. Heck, I have the dang shirt. Some of his little quips and just the no BS attitude.
Yep.
When especially that feud that he had with Miro, where hell they made the shirt redeem these nuts. I have that shirt somewhere here.
Yeah.
And everybody throughout the Midwest knows about Warhorse.
Yeah. And across the country, really. I mean, Warhorse, like Danhausen, He's the other one I'd compare him to. In 2020, 2021, Warhorse got his name out there during the pandemic, and people know him from Twitter and Instagram and TikTok. And like you said, Midwest fans know him from his great work in the ring. This is just gonna be a fun fight.
Oh man, if I had to pick one single match that I'm excited about, I mean, there's a lot to be excited about on this card, but this one would have to be like right high up on the list for me. I gotta say,
a lot of people are pumped for it.
Oh yeah, I can imagine. Next match I was going to talk about, kind of some holding over from the last show with EC3 and Jordan Kross. For those that watched that last show, there was a little confrontation there that it's going to be kind of interesting to see how this plays out.
Yeah, we had the surprise debut unannounced of EC3 when he cut off Jordan Kross after Jordan was lucky to beat Sam Beal. And that has led to this match. So Jordan has been on a bunch of pre-show matches for Warrior. He got murdered by Robert Ego Anthony and Frank the Clown in fall of 20. Leading up to the big fight they had with Joey Janela. And Jordan has been working really hard to try to get a big break at Warrior. And we gave it to him last show. And he was luckily able to pull off that big win against Sam Beal. And so now the question is, all right, no offense to Sam's great, but EC3 is on another level as far as being an Impact guy, a Ring of Honor guy, a WWE guy, NXT guy. And so Jordan might have a pretty tall order in front of him here. So the question is, can this plucky kid from Wisconsin hold his own against a veteran with a mean streak and a mouth?
Oh, yeah. EC3, like you said, he's known as quite a good talker, but a guy that can back it up for sure. And it's going to be interesting because I remember being a little surprised, as you mentioned, he was a bit of a surprise person there. I remember watching, I'm like, oh, damn.
Yep.
Did not know he was going to be there.
Nobody did, not even on the Warrior crew. I had people coming up to me afterwards that were like, you didn't tell me EC3 was coming. So we kept it as a surprise for everybody.
Hey, and you know what? There's certain announcers that have come out and said that, you know what, they almost prefer it a lot when there are those moments that, you know, they're billed as a surprise and they don't even know. Because then when you get the commentary's reaction, their reaction is a genuine surprise.
Yeah. Well, like you said, the word genuine you just used is perfect. You don't want anything in a wrestling show, whether you're watching it on streaming or you're there in person. You don't want it to feel too contrived. I know that sounds silly with it being wrestling, but you want it to feel natural. You want to be caught off guard, and you want the announcers to be caught off guard. And sometimes, you know, the other talent to be caught off guard. It adds to the atmosphere of anything can happen.
Oh yeah. And dog acting
no worries
right now. But, you know, we brought up announcers before we get on to the next card. I didn't know that coming up before putting my notes together that one, you got Matthew Rainwalt coming in from Impact.
Yep.
And I've actually got an interview scheduled with Val Capone next month. So
sweet.
That's going to be, I'm excited about that one. But, you know, Val Capone been doing commentary and stuff for you guys. And, you know, you bring in a guy that, you know, national scale been doing commentary, you know, pretty solid commentary team there.
Yeah, we're excited. So a lot of our normal guys, announcers had prior commitments, guys and gals. So Rich Bocchini and Joe Dombrowski and Veda Scott all had commitments with other shows. And we've been a big fan of Matt's work for a while. We'd actually talked to him potentially a few shows back about coming in and being involved in a few different ways. And so when the spot opened up to sit down alongside Val in the booth, we thought, let's tag in Matt. He's a local Chicago guy. As you said, he's one of the voices of Impact Wrestling. He had a great wrestling career in the ring as well. He knows it incredibly well. And so, we're excited about what he brings to the table.
Oh, yeah. You said it. He has had quite the career, both in the ring and behind the mic. I mean, hell, not anything against Miro, or as he was known as, Rusev at the time, but hell, every time you think of Rusev Day, you think of Matthew Rainwall and the way he delivered it on the microphone in the ring there, and just a solid career both in and out of the ring.
Yeah, just a great guy to have around, and a great knowledge, a great wealth of knowledge for all the talent in the back, right? So if you're a wrestler on this show, how cool is it to have somebody like him in the locker room before the show to learn from and to talk to and to glean that knowledge from?
Oh, totally. Next one, we have a women's match, Kilynn King versus Tootie Lynn.
Yes.
I got some pretty good watching done of Tootie Lynn when I was down there for the St. Louis show. She had a pretty solid match there against Deonna Purrazzo, and just the nicest person talking when I was at the Fan Fest and after, and proven to be another solid match that she's gonna have here, at least on paper, against Kilynn King.
Yeah, I think Tootie's got something special, and I think our audience feels that Tootie has something special. She's got a special energy, a special connection, a special look, a special spunk, and we're happy to bring her. She's been on a pre-show in Chicago, but she's only been on the main card in St. Louis and Grand Rapids, and we're happy to bring her home to the mothership, so to speak, and give her a shot on this card. We pride ourselves not just on featuring some of the best female wrestlers in building long-term stories and long-term feuds, but also in bringing new folks to our audience. So if you're a Warrior fan in Chicago, you've never seen Tootie Lynn on a main card, and no Warrior fans have ever seen Kilynn King on a Warrior show. So we're really excited for this matchup, and we're really excited again to give an opportunity. Again, like we talked about earlier, you've got your Eddie Kingstons and John Morrisons, but maybe you walk away as a big fan of Kilynn King or Tootie Lynn, and that's what we're hoping for.
Oh yeah, and I can vouch for Tootie Lynn, at least for the time St. Louis and the other matches of hers I've been able to watch since then. I have a feeling this match is going to be another solid women's match for Warrior Wrestling. That is for sure.
I think so as well.
Next one, I kind of mentioned on Twitter that these two are going to be looking to have a bit of a rebound of sorts, because they both, in different matches this last weekend, as of the recording of this, were both at Pro Wrestling Revolver in matches where they both ended up on the losing end, but solid matches nonetheless. Speedball Mike Bailey and Zachary Wentz of the Rascals.
Yes. I mean, this is a match between two guys who have had a hell of a 2022. Speedball, since getting his visa back in January and just absolutely tearing it up in every town in America. Zach, since getting freed from WWE and coming back to the indie scene and going crazy. They are just two of the most naturally talented and hardest working and most creative guys in wrestling. And this is the kind of match that the Warrior team puts together just so we can enjoy it. And even if the audience didn't like it, which they're going to, we would like it. I mean, it's just going to be the perfect epitome of great wrestling in 2022.
Oh yeah. And the styles they have, they might not be the exact same, but they definitely mesh together. The speed, the agility. I feel it's going to make for a pretty good match.
I think it's going to make for a great match. I think this is one people will be talking about.
Oh yeah, no, I would not doubt that one bit. I have had the pleasure of getting to meet both of these guys, and they've, like you said, one hell of a 2022 for both.
Yeah.
Well, we will go on to another one I'm excited about, because even if it's just to see Max Caster rip into Frank the Clown, Max Caster and Grayson, Max Caster known for his, his raps on the way to the ring. And, oh man, I love giving Frank the Clown shit, but I'm looking forward to, I can just see, what Max Caster is going to have in store for the both of them.
Yeah, absolutely. And like you said, this is kind of the best of both worlds, right? So you've got the obnoxious over the top personality of Frank the Clown, and Max gets to play off of that and hopefully destroy Frank the Clown and his rap. And then you have a legitimately phenomenal in-ring talent in Storm Grayson, and Max gets to be challenged by this great wrestler between the ropes. So we really think this is the best of both worlds. You get Max playing off of Frank, and then Max having to face Storm. We think it's going to make for some great wrestling live or on the stream.
Oh yeah, and the way I'm looking at this is, Max Caster is not going to be any slouch for Storm Grayson to kind of overlook, because you just look at the match that they had last night with FTR. Max Caster can go right along with it, and I have a feeling this one's gonna be pretty damn good.
I think it's going to be great. We don't put matches on our shows that we're not excited about. And as you said, Max and Bowens just had this match with FTR that was out of this world. Max is such a great competitor, and we're going to get to see it at Warrior.
Oh yeah. I can't wait to hear the crowd's reaction to all of it. It's going to be insane.
Yeah.
Last but not least, we have Johnny Impact, John Morrison, aka a lot of different things, versus Sam Adonis for the Lucha title.
Yes.
And another thing that I love about Warrior Wrestling is, and I've said this before, there's a little bit of something for everybody.
Yes.
You got the fans of tag team, you got the slobber knocker type matches with Eddie Kingston and Warhorse, and now you got solid lucha action with Johnny Warrior and Sam Adonis.
Yeah, and people might look at those two guys and say, well, wait a second, those are two white guys, two Americans. People might, if you're not familiar with Lucha, the two of them are two of the biggest stars in AAA down in Mexico, where Sam Adonis and John Morrison have teamed up, where he's Johnny Caballero fighting the likes of Vikingo and Psycho Clown. They just faced Cain Velasquez. They are two of the biggest stars in AAA, and they're both incredible at the American style and the Lucha style. And so this is going to be, it's the first time ever they faced each other one-on-one, and it's possibly Sam's biggest challenge as Lucha champion, because he's facing a guy like we talked about earlier with EC3. Morrison has been in Impact. He's been in WWE. He's been in AEW. He's been in AAA. He's been all around the world, and he is a fantastic in-ring wrestler. And so this could be the end of Sam Adonis's reign potentially. And if Morrison wins, what a cool way to crown a new champion with on his debut at Warrior Wrestling, dethroning Sam and becoming the Lucha champ.
Oh yeah, no, you bring it up great. That would be one hell of a debut. And he's won titles literally everywhere he's gone. So wouldn't it be cool to add Warrior Wrestling on top of it?
Yeah, absolutely. Again, he's an Intercontinental champion. He's a U.S. champion. He's a tag champion. He's been Impact World champion. He's been champion everywhere he's gone. And, and anybody who's watched John Morrison or Johnny Warrior, as he's going by this time around, knows what he's capable of.
No, yeah. And, he seems to have kind of come back into his own since getting released by WWE, because it's almost like the chains have been just taken off.
Yep.
And he's just, the sky's the limit. He's back with AAA doing amazing things down there. And actually we mentioned another promotion that I could be going to a show of there soon he's going to be there with his wife, Taya Valkyrie. So, them together, they very famous down in AAA and Taya doing her thing with Impact right now. And Sam Adonis, again, like you mentioned, AAA doing amazing things down there. I'm excited. I do, with me having been in San Diego and how big the lucha style is down there.
Yes.
I become, oh man, this between Eddie Kingston and Warhorse and this match, worth the price of the show by itself, if you ask me.
Yeah, we really, as you've said in the past, we try to do a little bit of everything. And again, you're going to have that slobber knocker. You're going to have those great characters clashing in Max Caster and Frank the Clown. You're going to have the great lucha match. You're going to have up and coming tag match, a women's match. You're going to have, we haven't even talked about Mance Warner and Trevor Outlaw.
I almost forgot about that one.
Old Mancer is making his Warrior Wrestling debut. Hopefully he's going to dice up Trevor Outlaw. So you've got a little bit of everything. And so if you say, oh, I like the WWE characters and style, come see EC3 and John Morrison. Oh, I like the AEW stars, Eddie Kingston and Max Caster. Oh, I like a fight, Kingston Warhorse. Oh, I like tag action, Slime Season and Technical Difficulties. No matter what you like, there's something for you on this show.
Oh, yeah. And you mentioned, slicing up Trevor Outlaw. Another thing I mentioned on Twitter that I believe the guy that runs your Twitter, like I mentioned that match is probably going to end up being sponsored by Home Depot with all the doors and shit.
Yeah, we'll see what they do.
Oh, man. And who knows, whichever one of the matches goes on first, whether it's this one or the Storm Grayson Max Caster match, maybe Frank the Clown won't even make it back for the one.
I'm hoping one of the two of them, either Mancer or Max, takes care of Frank. But I'm always hoping somebody takes care of Frank.
Oh, yeah. Although, to be quite honest, I mean, I witnessed it in St. Louis when, there was that whole thing with him and Athena. It's like, as soon as Athena walked in the room, he ran off. Same thing happened the last show. He ran off as soon as there was trouble. So you never know. It's like somebody's just going to have to catch him off guard.
Yeah. The day when someone finally gets Frank, and he's been gotten a few times, Mick Foley took care of him. Joey Janela took care of him as well. But it's been a long time since anybody's laid their hands on Frank. I think the last time was Lance Archer tossing him off the bleachers in the summer of 21. So it's been at least a year and a half.
Yeah. So he's probably due.
Yep.
So, like we mentioned, pretty solid card top to bottom, a little bit of everything for everybody. Got solid commentary team. And we will talk about this later, and hopefully once the card for the next show after this comes out, we can get together, do this again. But already making some pretty big announcements for that one with Takeshita and the AAA mega champion
Vikingo. Yes. So again, talk about trying to bring in all the styles. If you like AEW or Japanese style, Takeshita's coming. If you like Lucha Libre or AAA, the Midwest debut of Vikingo, the man who has been a phenomenon. So if you're an American fan and you don't know Lucha Libre very well, Vikingo is like Phoenix, but on crack.
Yeah, that would be a good way to describe him. That is for sure. And man, you guys just keep on bringing solid shows. And, that's just two people that are going to be on the card for that one. Who knows what else is going to come up?
There's a lot of cool stuff brewing.
That is going to be insane, and I can't wait. Well, anyways, I know you got a little bit of a time crunch here. So, thank you once again for taking the time to talk to me today to go over like we said, what's going to be a pretty solid card. And, you know, want to make sure this will be out before the show next weekend. So if you viewers, if you haven't ordered the show already, go to Pro Wrestling TV, order the show. You will not be disappointed.
Thank you, my friend. It's great to talk to you. Great to see you. And I can't wait till, I don't know where it'll be, what show it will be, but the time I get to see you in person, shake your hand, give you a big hug.
Oh, I can't wait. I'm looking forward to it.
All right, Mo, be well. We'll see you soon, my friend.